And I guess if you think of the overall portfolio, if you have a pension, then that, if you're thinking of the balance sheet, that's a big bond-like asset in the balance sheet that gives you a lot of room to take more risk with the remainder of your investment portfolio. But then do you think that the average person who has a pension really sees it that way?
They don't. I think that, for a lot of people, they think, oh, I have this pension, and, it has no effect on my portfolio, but it definitely should. I think that if you're going to, again, build a truly comprehensive balance sheet, you should include the value of that income source on the balance sheet. Say, Mr. and Mrs. Client, you're a millionaire, right? Because in theory, if you have $1 million, you could buy an annuity, right? Well, if you did that, the money hasn't disappeared. It's just been transformed to something else. And so if you aren't thinking about pensions, you're kind of overlooking what is, again, for many retirees, their largest asset.
And so when you're building a financial plan, and say you have a goal of retirement planning, but you also have other long-term goals, let's say educational planning, how does having a pension affect something like education planning?
Well, I think that the one thing with pensions that it does is it allows you to take on more risk in your portfolio, and also dedicate, I think, money to other types of accounts. Because if you have most of your money for retirement and pensions, you can probably be more aggressive in terms of how much you save. You can allocate money to other goals because, if for some reason your portfolio underperforms, it doesn't affect your consumption that much. If, however, you don't have a lot of pension wealth or assets, then, if you do have that shock to the market, it can really affect how you spend in retirement. So having pensions lets you take on more risk in other areas of your kind of overall comprehensive financial plan.
So if your goal is to have a certain income in retirement and you're eligible for a pension, you don't need to save as much for retirement. You can devote more of your resources to other types of goals. So in a way, having that pension helps you also in the sense that it helps you achieve some of these other alternative goals because you're taking care of that retirement goal in itself. To sum it up, pensions are an asset that should be considered part of the balance sheet. They're very valuable these days, especially in a low interest rate environment. You should not ignore them when you're putting together a financial plan, and it will change how you approach goal planning in other aspects of a household's balance sheet because it means that they have more flexibility. It also means that they can take greater risk with their other investments.
Definitely, yes.
All right. Thank you, David.